So the Battlefield beta is okay. That's the easiest way of putting it. That's what it's literally like. It is just okay. It's very good for a beta, but for a full release game, it is just going to be a mediocre okay. It's going to be on that range. It's going to be between I'm going to guess an 8 for when it gets reviewed and stuff like that. For the main game, it's going to be about an 8, 8.2 or something. It's it's hard to say what the best bits and the good bits are about the beta, really. I would say that the best bits about it, the best changes are like the assignments that they bring in and the daily orders type thing. Those things are actually pretty good because for the assignments wise, you can just, I don't know, equip a couple, and then the more you do, the more you rank up a weapon, the more assignments you get for that weapon, and then the more you go through different classes, the more assignments you get for that specific class as well, which is pretty good to have, especially since you can just get more, I'm going to guess that's the credits type thing, in-game type credits thing that you can't buy anything of. You can just get loads more of those. You can get attachments for your gun. You can get everything like that. So those bits are pretty good. One thing that I will say is it's a good but at the same time a bad thing, is the new revive mechanic, where when you go down, you have a chance to bleed out. You have a chance to fight for your life and ask for help from a person. It's a good concept, and yeah, it's very good to have. But it's the fact of just like not that many people will actually go out their way to actually get you up. They will just leave you down on the floor, and they won't do anything towards you. They will just ignore you, especially teammates as well, because they've got the squad revive type thing, which is pretty good. So like your squad mates can just get you up, or a medic class can actually get you up as well. So those are the only ways you can actually get revived. But at times, a lot of them will not go for you because there's no indication that they're there unless you're pretty close to them. In the range that you have to, like you have to be. So at about the 25 to 30 meter range, they have to be close to them to actually see them. It's a bit of a pain. I wish it was more of a bigger icon, but it would take up a lot more space. If it did say like squad mate is nearby in the top corner or something like that, down squad mate nearby, that would be a little bit better. But at the same time, actually, no, that would probably be the better option, is if it actually told you that a squad teammate is nearby or a teammate is nearby down. It would go up quite a bit, but the squad one a little bit better to have. But the new revive concept is pretty decent. One thing I will say is a good addition to the game is the fortifying type concept. I would have liked it if there was more variety towards it instead of just a pre-planned type thing, but it would be quite hard to program that one instead. But to have the free type of thing where you can build up cover in specific areas, especially like around capture points and everything like that, especially on the grand operations thing. There's the first part or the second part where you can just build up defense positions on the bridge part of Narvik, that map, the Norway one, Narvik. The second part of Narvik, which is I would say is a pretty good one. It is a pretty good map. My favourite one is probably Rotterdam, but the Narvik one is pretty good for. I like them both. I like them both. I don't think they're going to be that like ideal. I think Rotterdam is probably going to be the one that everybody just remembers because it's been an Everskill trailer, so it's a little bit easier to have. But the fortifying mechanic is a pretty good addition. I would like it if people actually did use it a bit more, because people don't know how to actually access it, and it doesn't tell you how to access it. You just have to press down on the D-pad or whatever you use. I'm using it on console, but down on the D-pad is to get the fortifying, repairing type thing for every single class. Every single class you can do it with, so it's a pretty good addition. It's not like you have to be a support, you have to be an assault type person just to use it. You can use it for every single class, which is very nice to have. But one thing I would like to see in the full release of a game is for sniping itself. It seems like in the beta there's not that much bullet drop there's not that much leading of your shots. So that means you don't have to time your shots. It seems like you can just shoot where the person is and you get them because of the speed of the bullet, which it does make sense. But if they are at like a long distance, it doesn't really go in the right place, which is a bit harder to do, I will say. I do like it in the beta, but I feel like if it did have a bit more of like a drop to it, because in the other games you had the zeroing in 4 and Battlefield 1 and Hardline, that one. You had the zeroing type thing. This one actually got rid of it, which is amazing to have. Like I would rather have it without the zeroing, because that means it actually proves that you're actually good at the game. You don't just zero it to, I don't know, 500 meters and you can snipe them from long range just by aiming at the head. But in this one, it seems like you don't know the bullet drop. There's not that much of a clear line of where your bullet's going. Sometimes you don't know where your bullet drop is. There's no impact showing it either. So it would be nice to have that. But these are the type of things that people need to say to DICE, to DICE, not EA, that they need to improve on certain things. There's a lot of things to improve on. Another thing that I will say is like a love-hate type relationship for me. I've always liked tank gameplay in the Battlefield games. I loved using the tanks. But the Battlefield 3 tank experience, Battlefield 1 in the beta was amazing to play as a tank on Sahara Desert. It was so fun to play. In this one, they've changed it up, so that means you've actually got ammo for your tank instead. It's a nice concept to have. I would like it if there was a bit more ammo for your guns, because it seems like if you take on another tank with your tank, it takes about 5 shots to take it out. I'm not actually sure how many shots you actually have for your tank just from the get-go. That's one thing I literally didn't check, because I fired straight away and I lost count of it. But the new concept of having ammo for your tank now, it kind of limits what you have to do, which you have to be clever about using a tank. So you're hoping that people don't just go into a tank and just think, oh, I'm just going to use it just to drive somewhere and just let it go, because that's the bad thing to do. I'm not quite sure if it's like you use up the ammo for the main driver part, the shooting, driving part, and then if somebody else gets into it, they have a separate amount of ammo. If it does do that, it's a little bit of a flaw, but it's probably an easier way of getting around it, because you could do it for like one person drives and shoots the tank for the first lot, and then a squad mate could just go in, or it's like literal squad mate, or your mate could just go into the tank and use up his ammo instead. I'm not quite sure if it will reset for you over time, but that's one thing I really didn't check, because I only had a couple of minutes in the tank. Did get a couple of kills. The format that I had for it was the chain gun one, which the chain gun one was actually pretty interesting to use. It had, I think it was 500 rounds for normal shots, and it had an overheating mechanic to it, which was pretty good. The reloading for the tank as well, for the main shells, was pretty nifty to have as well. It was a good speed. But the chain gun, both shots did have a massive drop. I was just up top and it had a massive drop. Like, you got to try and lead this one quite a lot if you do want to use it. It's not like a straight shot you shot. It is a massive drop. I feel like they've kind of weighed it in a little bit more, especially with the chain gun one. The chain gun one does drop quite a bit, so you have to try and shoot one shot first and see where it lands, and then do the rest as like a prediction. But like an overall type thing for the whole beta is like a massive positive. I will say the beta itself is very well polished. The graphics look amazing for it. Even for the beta, it does look amazing. They're going to be a little bit more better on PC, but I do play it on console. I play it on Xbox, so it's a little bit of a downgrade towards what people can see. So if you are playing it on PC and you've got an amazing one, you're in for a treat, I will say that. But for everything else, like, it is a massive positive. I thought it was going to be a really rubbish game. I thought it was not going to perform that well. The era, I still think it's a bit of a downfall for the era wise. I would rather have had it a modern day one, because I kind of getting bored of old or future type things. I just want something modern, more current instead. They can't just expand on everything. They can just use real life stuff. The kind of last things that I will go over, more for the classes instead, class specific type things. For myself, I like using sniper from now on. I'm very good at it. I will say that. I'm not trying to like toot my own trumpet or something like that. I do like using the sniper. I do like being a assault, but the fact is just like it only has assault rifles in the assault, not like submachine guns is a little bit of a letdown, but the assault rifle's fine with me. Submachine guns are in the medic class, which is a good place to have it because it is more of a light character. I do like the fact that just like there are specific guns for specific classes. It's a nice type of thing. Like the support has got the LMGs and the shotgun, which makes sense. Sniper, of course, sniper. The semi-auto ones, like the DMR ones, pretty good to use. Assault rifles, so far I've only got assault rifles. I will probably think that they're going to add in like they usually do, but we're not quite sure just yet. And then SMGs are in the medic, so it's well bound. Well, it is well rounded, but for the assault class, I feel like it's a little bit down because not that many people use it because the grenade launcher, it doesn't do enough damage. It does about 36 or something like that if you're just near the area. It's like you're using a grenade. It shouldn't do 36. Like it should do damage to tanks as well, just a little bit, but it seems like it doesn't. So that's like the only thing that I kind of got to play with the assault because I haven't gotten that high of a level. It is only the second day and I haven't been able to play that much, so let me off on that one. I haven't been able to use the rocket launcher or anything like that for it, but the grenade launcher is a little bit of a downfall. I thought it would be doing a little bit more damage to vehicles. And the other thing that I'm not really keen on is the upgrade tree. The first couple I'm fine with. I'm completely fine with the upgrade tree for it. But as soon as it splits off into two different types, you don't get a chance to reset them, is the thing. Not that I can see. If people can tell me if I'm wrong or not. If there's any way to reset it, then comment down below. But right now, I can't really see if you can reset which things you actually choose. So as soon as you pick that one, you've got them, like for life. You can't change it. So it's a little bit of a pain because at times you don't know what you're going to like, you don't know what you're going to do with it, which might cause people to reset their accounts if they've chosen the wrong things and stuff, because they're a bit controversial and it depends on how your playstyle is. Like you don't know how your playstyle is going to be from the full game. You might not even want to have some of those type of things. They might change. Well, they are definitely going to buff and nerf certain guns. That means whatever you've picked on a certain gun might make it completely rubbish and it might be useless to you now. So I don't know how. I don't really know why they properly brung out an upgrade tree for specific guns. It's a little bit of a downfall towards the classes. Everything else is pretty good. It is just the upgrade trees for the guns, which is a little bit of a pain. Shotguns, I haven't been able to use it yet. I haven't been able to unlock it, so I don't know how to use it yet. But for the LMG, I'm fine with it. You can get the bipod or you can get the normal one. Actually, for the sniper, you can get the bipod and normal one. For LMG, pretty sure it's just like stability and something else about it, a recoil, probably something like that. But for like the first two of every single gun that you choose is always like quick draw and more like a steady aim type thing or anything like on those terms. It's very handy to have the first two, but after the first two, it gets a little bit controversial. So I would rather have it as just like a solid line instead of a split off point, because you don't know how your gun's going to be. As soon as you pick those things, it might go completely terrible or it might be amazing. You don't know. But that is just my thoughts of the Battlefield open beta. I know they've had alphas and everything like that. But so far, I am enjoying it. I'm only going to get it when it comes out, which is November 20th. If people haven't played the beta yet, go download it. It's 10 gigabytes. It's not that big compared to most other games that you can buy, which are like 80 gigabytes and stuff like that. But 10 gigabytes is not that bad, and it is still open until the 11th. My guessing is that they'll bring it back as an open type thing for the Battle Royale, as well as showing off a new map as well. That might be a nice thing if they switch it around and just show off two other maps. One other Grand Operations and another map, which would be a pretty good thing to do. It allows people to get used to some of the maps, and then you only get shown 4 or half of the maps that are being released. The other half could be stuff that you literally haven't seen yet, so it might make it a little bit better. But hope you guys enjoy again, and if you have anything else to say, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. So peace out.